A renowned Stoic philosopher once said, "Friendship is not measured by how many people surround you, but by the depth of connection you share with the few who truly understand you." This sentiment echoes across centuries, reminding us that true friendship is rare and precious, like finding a diamond among stones. In today's hyper-connected world, we often confuse followers with friends, connections with companions. We measure our social worth by numbers rather than meaning. But what if having fewer friends isn't a flaw but a reflection of your discernment? What if your selective approach to friendship actually indicates wisdom rather than weakness? Today, we'll explore the profound relationship between Stoic philosophy and friendship. We'll examine why some people struggle to form deep connections, what this might reveal about their character, and most importantly, how ancient Stoic wisdom can guide us toward building fewer but more meaningful relationships. Whether you find yourself surrounded by many acquaintances but few true friends, or you stand largely alone in a crowded world, stay with us. This journey through Stoic principles will offer you practical wisdom to transform your approach to friendship, helping you forge connections that withstand life's inevitable storms. Remember, as the Stoics taught, it's not the quantity of your social connections that matters, but their quality and the tranquility they bring to your life. Let's begin this exploration together. Part 1. The misconception of solitude. Society often portrays a robust social circle as the hallmark of success and happiness. We're bombarded with images of people surrounded by friends, celebrating, traveling, and sharing life's moments together. This creates an unspoken narrative. To be alone is to be lacking. But the Stoics would strongly disagree with this assessment. In fact, Marcus Aurelius once noted, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." This perspective suggests that solitude isn't something to fear, but rather a state to embrace and explore. Consider this: when you're alone, you're free from external judgments and expectations. You can drop the social masks we all wear and simply be. This authenticity is the foundation upon which genuine friendships are built. Without knowing yourself in solitude, how can you truly connect with others? The Stoics viewed solitude not as isolation, but as an opportunity for self-reflection and growth. Seneca advised that we should retire into ourselves as much as possible. This retreat isn't about hiding from the world, but about strengthening our inner resources so that when we do engage with others, we bring our best selves to those relationships. Many of history's greatest thinkers, artists, and leaders cultivated periods of solitude. They understood that creativity, wisdom, and self-knowledge often blossom in quiet moments of reflection, rather than in constant social engagement. So if you find yourself with fewer friends than others, consider whether this might be a sign not of social failure, but of self-awareness and discernment. Perhaps you intuitively understand what the Stoics taught, that meaningful connection with a few is far more valuable than superficial engagement with many. As we continue, remember that Stoicism doesn't advocate for complete isolation. Humans are social creatures by nature. Rather, it encourages thoughtful selection of companions and appreciation for the growth that solitude can bring. The goal isn't to avoid friendship, but to approach it with wisdom and intention. Part 2. The selective nature of genuine friendship. Choose your friendships carefully, advised Epictetus. When you've selected who to spend time with them in a genuine way. This Stoic wisdom cuts to the heart of why some people appear to have fewer friends. They're selective, prioritizing quality over quantity. Think of friendship like fine craftsmanship. A master artisan doesn't rush to produce as many pieces as possible. Instead, they focus on creating fewer items of exceptional quality. Similarly, those who form fewer but deeper friendships are often practicing a form of social craftsmanship. The Stoics understood that our social circles profoundly influence our character and peace of mind. Seneca warned, "Unassociate with people who are likely to improve you." This isn't elitism, it's recognition that friendships shape us. Each relationship either elevates us toward our best selves or pulls us away from our principles and potential. Consider your own experience. Haven't your closest friendships changed you in some way? Haven't they challenged your thinking, expanded your perspective, or perhaps even altered your life's course? These transformative connections rarely happen in casual acquaintanceships. Those who appear to have few friends might simply be exercising wisdom in their social selections. They understand intuitively what Epictetus taught: not every pleasant companion is worthy of the title pun friend. True friendship involves mutual growth, shared values, and a commitment to supporting each other's journey toward virtue. This selectivity often extends both ways. People of strong character and clear principles naturally attract similar individuals, while simultaneously filtering out those seeking more superficial connections. As Marcus Aurelius noted, and the object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. In practical terms, this means that having a smaller circle of friends may indicate that you value authenticity over social convenience, depth over breadth, and meaningful exchange over mere entertainment. It suggests you've chosen a path of intentional connection rather than social accumulation. As we proceed, consider whether your own approach to friendship reflects this Stoic wisdom. Are your relationships chosen with care and maintained with genuine engagement? Or have you pursued quantity at the expense of quality? The answer reveals much about your priorities and character. Part 3. The challenge of authenticity. One of the most profound barriers to forming numerous friendships is the courage to be authentic. As Seneca observed, when a person spends all day in the company of those who cause them anxiety, they are alone when they are by themselves. This points to a crucial Stoic insight: false companionship is more isolating than actual solitude. In today's world, where social media encourages carefully curated personas, true authenticity has become increasingly rare. We present edited versions of ourselves, crafted to attract approval rather than genuine connection. Yet the Stoics would argue that this approach undermines the very foundation of meaningful friendship. Marcus Aurelius advised himself to be simple and unassuming in your words and actions. This simplicity, this stripping away of pretense, is essential for forming deep connections. When we present our unvarnished selves, we attract those who appreciate us for who we truly are, not for the image we project. This commitment to authenticity naturally limits our potential friend pool. Not everyone will resonate with our true nature, our values, or our perspective on life. And that, according to Stoic wisdom, is perfectly acceptable. Better to have a few friends who know and accept your authentic self than many who admire a fabrication. Consider how exhausting it is to maintain a false persona. Those who prioritize authentic connection understand that pretending to be someone you're not might temporarily win approval, but inevitably leads to relationships built on shifting sand. When the facade inevitably cracks, these connections often dissolve. In contrast, relationships founded on authenticity possess remarkable resilience. They withstand disagreements, challenges, and life's inevitable changes because they're based on knowing and accepting each other's true nature, flaws, quirks, and all. People with fewer friends have often made a profound choice, whether consciously or intuitively. They've chosen the freedom of being known for who they are over the security of being accepted for who they're not. This choice reflects the Stoic commitment to living in accordance with nature, specifically your own nature. As you reflect on your own social connections, ask yourself, in which relationships can I be fully authentic? Where do I feel known and accepted for who I truly am? These are your real friendships, whether they number 1 or 100. Part 4. The value of self-sufficiency. At the core of Stoic philosophy lies the concept of self-sufficiency or autarkeia, the ability to find contentment within oneself rather than from external sources. This principle has profound implications for how we approach friendship. Epictetus taught, and the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. But beneath this advice lies a deeper understanding. Before seeking uplifting companions, we must first learn to uplift ourselves. True friendship begins with self-friendship. Those who have cultivated a rich inner life often appear less desperate for social validation. They enjoy their own company, pursue their interests with passion, and find meaning in personal growth. This self-sufficiency doesn't indicate antisocial tendencies, but rather a healthy foundation for building meaningful connections. Think of it like two adjacent trees. If one tree is weakened and leans heavily on the other, both may eventually fall. But when two strong, self-supporting trees grow side by side, they create a more resilient partnership while maintaining their individual integrity. Similarly, the most enduring friendships form between people who are complete in themselves yet choose to share their lives. This self-sufficiency explains why some people seem content with fewer social connections. They've developed what Marcus Aurelius called an inner citadel, a place of mental and emotional strength that remains stable regardless of external circumstances. From this position of inner security, they can be more selective about who they invite into their lives. Contrary to common perception, this selectivity isn't about arrogance or social anxiety. It's about understanding that meaningful friendship requires investment of time, energy, and emotional resources. Those who value self-sufficiency recognize that these resources are finite and choose to invest them where they'll yield the greatest mutual benefit. As you consider your own approach to friendship, reflect on your level of self-sufficiency. Do you seek friends to fill an emptiness within yourself, or do you approach relationships from a place of inner fullness? The Stoics would suggest that the latter position creates the foundation for the most rewarding and balanced connections. Part 5. The impact of modern social dynamics. Our modern social landscape has transformed how we form and maintain friendships. The rise of social media, remote work, and increasingly transient lifestyles has created new challenges for building meaningful connections. The Stoics lived in a different era, but faced similar human dynamics. Seneca noted that an part of life we really live is small, warning against wasting precious time on superficial activities and relationships. Today, this warning is more relevant than ever as we navigate endless digital distractions and virtual connections. Social media presents a particular challenge to Stoic friendship principles. These platforms often reward breadth over depth, encouraging us to accumulate connections rather than nurture them. They create the illusion of intimacy without the vulnerable exchanges that build genuine understanding. Consider how many friends and followers you have online versus how many people you could call in a personal crisis. This disparity highlights what the Stoics understood. True friendship is revealed not in pleasant times, but in challenging ones. Beyond digital challenges, our modern lifestyle often separates us physically from our social networks. Remote work, frequent relocation for career opportunities, and the pace of contemporary life can make maintaining deep connections difficult. Under these conditions, having fewer but more intentional friendships may be not just philosophical, but practical. The Stoics would likely view these challenges as opportunities for practicing discernment. Marcus Aurelius advised, "Take care not to feel towards the inhumane as they feel towards humanity." Applied to modern social dynamics, this suggests maintaining your commitment to meaningful connection, even when the culture encourages superficiality. Those who appear to have fewer friends in this environment may simply be resisting the pressure to treat relationships as commodities. They recognize, as Epictetus taught, that it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. In the context of friendship, this means valuing quality of connection over social metrics. As we navigate these modern challenges, the Stoic emphasis on intentionality becomes increasingly valuable. By approaching our social lives with clear intention, seeking depth, authenticity, and mutual growth, we can build meaningful connections even in a culture that often prioritizes appearance over substance. Part 6. The role of shared values. Friendship, according to Seneca, is always beneficial. Love can even cause harm. This distinction highlights a crucial aspect of Stoic relationship philosophy. True friendship aligns with virtue and contributes to our moral development. People who form fewer but deeper friendships often do so because they prioritize shared values over shared circumstances or interests. While common hobbies or work environments might initiate connections, enduring friendships typically require alignment on fundamental values like integrity, kindness, or commitment to personal growth. The Stoics would view this selective approach as wise rather than limiting. Epictetus cautioned, "Seneca is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." This requires discernment about whose values complement your own and support your journey toward virtue. Consider how difficult it is to maintain close relationships with people whose core values fundamentally differ from yours. When you value honesty but a companion regularly deceives others, when you strive for self-improvement but they resist growth, tension inevitably develops. The Stoics would suggest that such misalignments naturally and appropriately limit friendship potential. This doesn't mean surrounding yourself only with those who think identically to you. Diversity of perspective enriches relationships and challenges our thinking. Rather, it's about finding companions whose fundamental moral compass points in a similar direction, even if you take different paths. Those who appear to have fewer friends may simply be exercising this value-based discernment. They understand intuitively what Marcus Aurelius articulated, "I'll waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." This focus on becoming virtuous naturally attracts similarly committed individuals while creating distance from those with divergent priorities. As you reflect on your own friendships, consider whether they're founded on shared values or merely shared circumstances. The former tend to endure through life's transitions, while the latter often fade when situations change. This distinction helps explain why some people maintain a consistent but limited circle of deep connections rather than an ever-changing array of acquaintances. Part 7. The courage to set boundaries. No person, wrote Seneca, has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have, and to cheerfully put to good use what they do have. This Stoic principle of accepting what we cannot control while focusing on what we can applies powerfully to friendship. Having fewer but deeper friendships often reflects a willingness to set clear boundaries, a form of social courage that the Stoics would admire. These boundaries might involve how you spend your time, what behaviors you tolerate, or how much emotional energy you invest in various relationships. People who maintain smaller social circles often recognize what Epictetus taught: if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Setting boundaries sometimes means declining invitations, stepping back from draining relationships, or prioritizing personal well-being over social approval, all actions that might be misinterpreted by others. This boundary setting isn't selfish, but self-respecting. It acknowledges that our capacity for meaningful connection is finite. As Marcus Aurelius advised, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Applied to friendship, this means we can choose which relationships deserve our limited emotional resources. Consider how a gardener tends their plants. They don't spread water and nutrients evenly across all vegetation. They concentrate resources where growth is most promising. Similarly, those who form fewer but deeper friendships are often practicing emotional and social gardening, directing their time and energy where meaningful connection can flourish. This selective approach requires courage because it often contradicts social expectations. In a culture that sometimes equates popularity with worth, choosing depth over breadth can appear limiting or even antisocial. Yet the Stoics would argue that this courage reflects wisdom rather than weakness. As you reflect on your own friendship patterns, consider whether your social choices stem from thoughtful boundary setting or from habit and circumstance. Are you intentionally cultivating the most meaningful connections while respectfully limiting others? This discernment is at the heart of the Stoic approach to friendship. Part 8. The practice of friendship maintenance. Friendship, Seneca observed, is not a business where one keeps an exact accounting. This insight highlights a crucial aspect of meaningful relationships. They require ongoing attention without expectation of immediate return. People who maintain fewer but deeper friendships often excel at this maintenance practice. They understand intuitively what the Stoics taught, that genuine connection requires consistent nurturing rather than sporadic intensity. Consider how you tend to your closest relationships. Do you reach out regularly, remember important details of their lives, and make yourself available during difficult times? Or do you connect primarily when it's convenient, or when you need something. The former approach builds enduring bonds, while the latter creates tenuous connections. The Stoics would view friendship maintenance as a practice of virtue. Epictetus advised treating relationships with disciplined attention, noting that we should make proper use of what happens. In friendship terms, this means using both challenges and joys as opportunities to deepen connection, rather than allowing circumstances to determine the relationship's strength. Those who appear to have fewer friends may simply be dedicating their social energy to properly maintaining a select few relationships rather than spreading themselves too thin. They recognize, as Marcus Aurelius taught, that waste no more time talking about what a good man should be one. Applied to friendship, this means actively demonstrating loyalty, attentiveness, and support, rather than merely claiming these qualities. This maintenance practice includes navigating disagreements with wisdom. The Stoics recognized that conflict is inevitable in any relationship, but believed in addressing issues directly, rather than allowing resentment to fester. As Seneca advised, anger should never be permitted to grow cold. If resentment is buried, it is not forgotten. People with smaller social circles often excel at this aspect of relationship maintenance. They're willing to have difficult conversations, express genuine concerns, and work through tensions rather than abandoning the connection when challenges arise. This resilience creates friendships that deepen over time rather than dissolving at the first sign of conflict. As you consider your own approach to friendship maintenance, reflect on whether you're investing consistent attention in your most valued relationships. Are you present and engaged, or distracted and sporadic? The answer may explain more about your friendship patterns than any external factor. Part 9. Finding peace in authentic connection. The happiness of your life, Marcus Aurelius wrote, depends upon the quality of your thoughts. The Stoics would extend this wisdom to friendship. Your contentment depends not on how many friends you have, but on the quality of those connections. Throughout this exploration, we've examined why some people form fewer but deeper friendships. We've seen how selectivity, authenticity, self-sufficiency, shared values, boundary setting, and consistent maintenance all contribute to this pattern. Now let's consider the ultimate Stoic goal in friendship: tranquility of mind. Genuine connection with even one person who truly knows and accepts you contributes more to inner peace than dozens of superficial relationships. The Stoics understood that pretense creates internal discord, while authenticity fosters harmony within ourselves and with others. Epictetus taught, freedom is not achieved by satisfying desire, but by eliminating it. Applied to friendship, this suggests that peace comes not from accumulating social connections, but from releasing the perceived need for approval from those who don't share our values or appreciate our authentic selves. Those who maintain smaller social circles often experience this freedom. They're liberated from the exhausting cycle of seeking validation from people whose opinions don't truly matter to them. Instead, they find affirmation in relationships built on mutual understanding and genuine appreciation. This approach aligns perfectly with the Stoic emphasis on distinguishing between what we can and cannot control. We cannot control how many people will resonate with our authentic selves or share our fundamental values. We can control how we show up in relationships, how we invest our social energy, and with whom we choose to build deeper connections. As Seneca advised, associate with people who are likely to improve you. This simple guidance contains profound wisdom. By choosing friends who inspire our growth, challenge our thinking, and accept our true selves, we create not just social connections, but pathways to becoming our best selves. Whether you currently have many friends or few, consider applying these Stoic principles to your relationships. Prioritize authenticity over approval, depth over breadth, and mutual growth over mere companionship. The result may be a smaller but more meaningful social circle, and with it, greater tranquility of mind. Part 10. Practical Stoic approaches to friendship. As we conclude our exploration, let's consider practical ways to apply Stoic wisdom to friendship in your own life. These actionable steps can help you build and maintain meaningful connections, whether you currently have many friends or few. First, practice friendship discernment. Regularly reflect on which relationships contribute to your growth and inner peace. As Seneca advised, and we should not, like sheep, follow the crowd in front of us, traveling a path that is not the best for us, but the most popular. The same applies to friendship. Choose relationships based on quality rather than convenience or convention. Second, cultivate your own company. Develop a rich inner life through reading, reflection, and pursuing meaningful interests. This self-sufficiency creates the foundation for healthy relationships. Marcus Aurelius noted, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." By finding peace within yourself, you become capable of deeper connection with others. Third, practice authentic self-expression. Begin with small disclosures of your true thoughts and feelings, gradually building environments where you can be increasingly genuine. Epictetus taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." This courage to be authentic, despite potential misunderstanding, opens the door to meaningful connection. Fourth, focus on shared values rather than superficial compatibility. Initiate conversations about principles and purposes that matter to you. As Seneca observed, friendship is agreement with kindliness and love about things human and divine. Finding this fundamental alignment creates the foundation for enduring relationships. Fifth, maintain your boundaries with gentle firmness. Communicate your limits clearly and without apology. Remember Epictetus's teaching and make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. You cannot control others' reactions to your boundaries, but you can establish them with both kindness and conviction. Sixth, practice preventive maintenance in your valued relationships. Don't wait for crises to connect deeply. Regular, attentive engagement prevents the deterioration that neglect inevitably causes. As Marcus Aurelius advised, do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Applied to friendship, this means nurturing important relationships now, not someday. Finally, approach each interaction with intentional presence. Whether with longtime friends or new acquaintances, bring your full attention to the exchange. The quality of your presence often matters more than the quantity of time spent together. As Seneca noted, "And part of life we really live is small, so make those moments count through genuine engagement." By applying these Stoic principles to your social life, you may find yourself with fewer but deeper friendships, connections that contribute to your growth, reflect your authentic self, and bring genuine tranquility to your life. #Conclusion. Throughout this exploration, we've examined why some people have fewer friends than others, not as a deficiency but as a potential reflection of wisdom, discernment, and commitment to authentic connection. We've seen how Stoic principles illuminate this approach to friendship, offering insights that remain relevant across centuries. Remember, the Stoic goal was never popularity but eudaimonia, flourishing through virtue and inner peace. In friendship, this means prioritizing meaningful connection over social accumulation, depth over breadth, and authentic exchange over superficial interaction. Whether you currently maintain a small circle of close friends or are seeking to build more meaningful connections, these ancient insights provide practical guidance. They remind us that friendship, like all aspects of life, benefits from intentional choice rather than passive acceptance. As you move forward, consider evaluating your relationships not by their number, but by their quality. Ask yourself, do these connections reflect my authentic self? Do they contribute to my growth? Do they align with my core values? Do they bring genuine tranquility to my life? The answers will guide you toward relationships that the Stoics would recognize as true friendship. If you've found value in these reflections, please support our community by leaving a thumbs up and subscribing to our channel. Hit the notification bell to join us for more explorations of ancient wisdom applied to modern life. We'd love to hear your thoughts on friendship and Stoicism. Share in the comments how these principles resonate with your own experience. Are you someone who values fewer, deeper connections, or do you thrive in a larger social circle? What Stoic practices have helped you build meaningful relationships? Thank you for joining us on this journey through Stoic wisdom. Until next time, remember that the quality of your friendships reveals more about you than their quantity ever could. Stay reflective, stay authentic, stay Stoic,